I can vividly remember printing 100 resumes. Wala ni isang kumpanya tumawag sa akin for interview. Why? Grades was reflective of bobo to. Picture, pangit. Self-esteem, zero. Ang sabi niya, kaya hindi tanggap kasi yung pantalon na bibigay na uniform, hindi talaga kakasya sa'yo.
In this episode, we welcome the country's top transformative speaker, Russ Juson. He's the mastermind behind I Am Plus and has transformed thousands of people into a life of self-development. We will be asking him some tough questions. It's time we know the story behind the man of the hour today in Bold Souls. Hey guys, welcome to the Bold Souls podcast. Our mission is to interview people who live interesting, inspiring lives and show you a side that you do not often see. Our hope is to bring more of them into the show so that they can share more of their truth. But we'd like to ask you guys for one quick favor. Can you hit subscribe and also share this podcast or this channel to your friends who you think will get so much value from this? Thank you, and let's get this started. Finally, welcome to Bold Souls, Russ. We're finally here.
Magbo-bold ba tayo ngayon?
There's no boldness for now.
Okay.
It's gonna be all
Ready
out
ako eh.
because we are. And I've seen you be preparing yourself for your day 100
Yep.
of you getting fitter and fitter. You're already, okay, I don't want to style this right away, early on, pero you're above 50 years old, but your vitality, oh my God, mas mataas pa yung vitality mo sa akin eh.
Obvious.
No? And that thing about you, I think, is just what keeping you vibrant, energetic, and people are liking getting closer to you and knowing more about you. And I think that's our agenda today, no? And I'm excited to share the space and really get to know more about who Russ Juson is.
Yep.
Russ, how's everything? How's your life going?
You know
as
me,
of
all
now?
is well. No, I just got in here, had a great conversation, and my car got hit, and it's just all is well.
Yes.
Everything is well taken care of. So whether I'm creating what I want and I'm not creating what I want, in the end, I think I got so trained mentally, all is well.
Right.
Emotionally, gratitude no matter what. Physically, I'm ready to rock and roll my day. So how's everything? All is well.
All is well.
Not perfect, but it becomes perfect with the way I see the imperfection.
Right. And this kind of mindset, I actually learned from you. I learned so many things from you. And I think the difference pre-Russ and post-Russ it could be very noteworthy. It's something I'm very grateful for. The all is well mentality, the taking a deep breath every now and then. It's like a way of life that I think if people get closer to you, they realize, okay, you're more peaceful now because you just make life light as it should be. And life be really seen this way, Russ, because our lives is just so hard. And I don't want to declare that. And I know that it's a declaration. And I know you would be commenting on that. But really, is it really as easy as life is happiness and just fun and play? Tell me more about this idea.
The thing around this, it's a choice. Choose your hard. Which one is harder? To focus on what's really hard, or to focus on, yes, it's hard, and I'll have fun around it. I'll enjoy this because I know it's part of the process or process or processed, whatever you call it. It's
Right.
part of the journey. I mean, it's so boring, Ralph. If you want to go to, let's say, Europe or US or any destination, and in one click, you're there already, that's boring. Which means if God will give you everything that you want today, tell me, what will you do tomorrow?
If God everything gave me today, I'll just have fun.
But here's the thing. He already gave you everything you need at this moment. And how come you're not having fun?
I know. And I think that's one thing people are accustomed. It's like a default, no?
It is a familiarity, and they call it comfort zone. It's a shitty zone. It's a miserable place because what comfort we have is there are two spectrums of life.
Right.
This side, these are the things that I hate. And we do anything and everything to eradicate this. this side, these are the things that I like and I want more. So this is me eradicating, me wanting more. And we all know that everything in life is impermanent. And how come we worry about this, we fear about this, and we miss what's really important, which is here and now, which is the only thing in this world. It's the present.
Right.
Do you believe there's such thing as past?
For now, yes.
Where is it?
It's in the past.
Show me.
So I cannot
Give
see
me
it.
evidence.
It's well, you have a point, Russ. No.
So it's just a belief system. But here's
Yeah.
the thing. You cannot move forward because you're so into this is what happened to me, this is what my parents did to me, this is what my classmate did to me, and now I'm afraid to face my future. And is there such thing as future?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's in the future.
Exactly. You don't even know if it's gonna happen. Here's the thing. Human being crucify themselves into two thieves. Regrets of the past, which is what? Shame and guilt. Fear of the future, which is what? Fear, doubt, and worry. And people living their lives in two thieves. And the only thing we have here is present. To enjoy it. Have fun with it. And if there's something that's getting into the way and you label it as hard, yes, and you know it's part of the game.
Right.
You know it's part of the process. You know it's part of the journey. And why not enjoy what's hard, what's exciting, by looking at the growth, the expansion, the evolution that I want, more than just looking at the pain and being victimized and I don't want this and this and that. Then you lose out of time. And now I'm, 30, 40, 50, 60, and you say, eto lang yung buhay. Because that's the choice you make. And I'm not saying we intended this. I'm not saying we planned this. Again, low level of awareness. That maybe the level of awareness that humanity do have right now in general is what we call the victim mentality, which means the world happens to me and I cannot do anything around it except to be miserable, to be dramatic around it, and will justify anything and everything for me to stay miserable. Are you creating the result? Are you creating the dream? No. Simply because, again, that's the focus, being a victim. Contents like this I love because when people hear, all right, I'm a victim, and because Russ said, you have a choice. Then you now move to a certain level of, okay, yes, I'm a victim, but you know what? I don't like this. I can now move to my next level is, I have a choice.
Right.
And the choice here is, I create my world, I create my life with the new choice I'm having.
That was just like a masterclass on how to choose happiness in just 3 minutes. And I like that. And people who are watching us right now might see this as something of a revelation. Like, wow, ganun pala how to operate life. And one of our goals, Russ, we're in the same kind of mission of really bringing more consciousness to more people and to see their true potential. My question is, people are seeing this as Russ is getting too ambitiously positive, or this is too not realistic. And there's a lot of people who says, stoicism and a lot of other work says you have to be realistic.
Yeah.
You don't have to put your head over the clouds all the time. You have to be ready for what life is all about. What's your stand on all of this realistic POVs or point of views?
Okay. What's real for you? Tell me. In
Yeah.
the end, these are all made up. But now I'm telling you, you choose your own realistic. So if this is the life that I want and it's working for me, great job. But if I'm asking you, if realistic for you is all about misery, it's all about stress and pressure,
Right.
and you make it so real and you're still there, is that the life that you want? And what can you do? Because at the end of the day, how many % do you have control over external stuff?
No.
Zero.
Zero.
And the realistic that you're telling me about are the things that you see externally that will affect you internally.
Right.
So for me, what's real here is, yes, may banggaan. It's done. It's over. It's there. I'm not saying positive thinking, wala, hindi kami nabangga. Because on my way here, nabangga kami and I have an 8 o'clock call time here. Was I angry about it? No. Was I frightened about it? No. Because it happened the way it happened. It's either I make a drama around it and will delay everything and will
Right.
destroy my entire day, or yes, it happened and I'm not denying it. I'm not even gonna put it at hindi nabangga, nabangga talaga. And what now? What do I now do out of this situation?
Right.
Which means I can choose to be miserable around it and still be victimized around it, or I choose to, okay, something's happening, be present.
Right.
So I know I have commitment. I told my driver, called Matt, tell them this, and that. So I won't be out of agreement while I enjoy my phone call. Because I want to be productive today.
Right. Right.
So which means It's not being realistic. It's not being fake. It's not even illusion of grandeur. It is just looking things as it is and allowing myself to understand that I can grow bigger,
Yeah.
I can grow better, and use it to move me to my next level rather than just being stuck solving the problem.
Yeah.
This is what I learned. There's a fourth person perspective. First person perspective, yan yung problema. Second person, lalapitan ko problema, hihimay-himayin ko. And people just stay there. Nothing change happen. Not unless you take a deep breath, you move to the third person, you move back, and look at, saan ba nanggaling to? Okay, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that you got all information, because
Yeah.
you have a level of awareness that you don't judge what it is as it is, but you judge it as based on the entire evidence that you see on the bigger, grander, and better. But the bigger question here is the fourth person. What is it about me that these are all happening?
Right.
How can I use this to be a better person? How can I
Wow.
use this to be a bigger leader? How can I use this to celebrate life in a grandiose,
Right.
evolved life? Simply because my world is a reflection of what's inside me.
Yeah.
And if my world is not the way I want it, it's simply because my inner world matches my outer world. All go back to me. I always say in my introduction, it all begins with me.
Begins with us.
Who am I? What's my I am? Is it coming from the small I am? Or is it coming from my great I am and how I was created by the great I am? And that's what I want to carry as a light. The boldness of being who I am, not being afraid to carry him inside me because I was created in the image and likeness of God.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm not afraid to carry him inside me,
Wow.
to play a bigger life, larger life, because that's how I was created.
Russ, listening to you right now, you seem to have evolved and really expanded yourself. Like, listening to you, if I'm like another person no, who might not have an experience of you yet, it's like, whew, this guy is just dropping value bombs left and right. It's expanding my brain, and I really want to be curious all about it. But it seems too expanded, and some people are like, how can we get started in this journey? I know that you've been doing coaching for a long time already. How many years have you been doing coaching?
Professionally, 14. Okay, but
Alright.
I started learning 17 years already.
17 years.
It's a practice every day, and it's a never-ending, just getting good at it.
And you eventually built I Am Plus?
Yeah, it's a company that I built 2000.
Right.
Okay, so now it's 14 years.
14 years. And you guys are currently one of the most trending, always on my feed, business or organization. And before, I've been seeing you guys from afar. And I've been seeing all of those programs. And completely be honest, I was
Yep.
like, these guys are clearly in the personal development space. I am doing my own personal development journey. I might not need this, guys, because I'm currently also doing my own work. But eventually, learning more about you, I've seen talaga that there is just so much value getting closer to your space and to your community. Basically, what you guys are teaching or sharing to people, these kinds of ideas that you've been sharing minutes ago about having a choice, expanding, letting go of the drama, choosing what is the best out of the situation. These are just basically fundamental truths that people should learn for them to operate in life. But in reality, we really don't have this kind of rules to live life. But you guys were teaching this already in your space. I'd like to zero in and ask you, Russ, why should personal development be a top priority amongst people? This quest of all of those what you've said earlier.
It speaks a lot about most people's mindset. At the end of the day, the consciousness of humanity right now is so outdated, meaning we still operate based on the 60s and 70s, where in fact we are already in the 20th century, 21st century.
Yeah.
And therefore, if an iOS of an iPhone needs to upgrade, therefore as human being, we need to upgrade. Which means I have nothing against hard work. It's important. However, it reached to its maximum capacity already. You cannot push hard already. People are tired. People are miserable. People are stressed. Number one problem on earth is depression. Why are they depressed? Because they have problem, but their level of consciousness is here. No matter how much they push, it's not going to happen. And I always say your level of communication to yourself, which is your personal awareness, is more important than anything else around the world. Even if you are the hardest working human being alive, even if you have more strategy, more tactics, you have all the information in the world, if your consciousness is not matched to the consciousness of the earth, it has reached its limit. And if you're not in a journey of self-evolution,
Right.
you'll still be stuck. And yeah, I'm not doing this to ask people to enroll in my seminars. We never do that. There's a lot of things available there. But what I'm begging, what I'm pleasing is to please prioritize your consciousness re-engineering. Meaning, see yourself in a state wherein all you do is just to start working on your growth mindset. But the new consciousness right now is no longer just growth mindset. It has to have evolved to number 2, your clear heart set.
Yeah.
People right now are so miserable, so full of stress. Why? Because they operate pushing themselves to maximum capacity with a heavy heart. Little did they know that we all carry traumas, pain, and we cover it up with what? Hard work, money, viewers,
Yeah.
clear heart set. More than that, we have the best access in health, greatest technology. But how come health issue is second biggest problem on earth? It simply speaks about we forgot the essence. Pandemic was a reminder. Go back to who you truly are.
Right.
Honoring the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And those are essential. The consciousness is now more of no longer about who works the hardest, who's the smartest, but maybe who is more conscious, who
Yeah.
is more spiritual, who is more purpose-driven, will create the life that they want.
Yeah.
Again, consciousness is something that I would advocate for people to start rewiring, re-engineering, rethinking about their life.
Yeah.
And if you start to do that, your life will never be the same again.
Love that. So, going back, you were actually born in Davao.
Yep.
And you grew up there. You shared to us that you had years of feeling of unworthy. So, which is really weird, no? Because right now, you're like all worthy, all you know yourself very well, but you had a journey of unworthiness.
Yeah.
And this is something I think a lot of people would love to know, because before a hero or someone who is mighty became who they are, they had a transformation story behind that.
Yeah.
Bring me to the time that this was so really painful for you, something that really started the journey.
Again, with my story, this is my own interpretation, this is my own meaning,
Yeah.
and this is what was true for me at that moment. No? And I guess I would look at it as God's biggest blessing for me, that I felt I grew up in the most disadvantaged quality of life. Okay? We did not grow poor. Okay, I had a good family. I come from a good family. Except in the 70s, Ralph, pag hiwalay ang magulang mo, weird. I was the only kid I remember in the school na ini-interview ng teacher yung away ng magulang. And literally, I saw my parents fighting. I think at 7, I have to bring my mom in the hospital kasi binugbog ng tatay ko. And I see all of this rap. And she's not letting go. And the stigma of broken family, that the moment I say broken family, it's weird. And because ganun yun, syempre there was too much fighting at home. As a little child, we have to go to the court. I grew up with the belief system, but my mother was the worst mother in the world. My father was the worst father in the world. And all of that created a lot of doubt, a lot of fear inside me. Plus, to top it up, I'm the fourth child. And I felt I was the least.
Least attended to.
And I grew up with Yaya. And I remember my memory about Yaya was every summer, they go home. And that's where I felt loved. Katabi ko sa bed, pinapakain ako, mahal na mahal ako. Tapos all of a sudden, mawawala at hindi na babalik. So can you imagine, my memory of love is iiwanan ka. And the scene I can always remember, and it's playing now. Aalis yung Yaya, bibit-bit ng bag. Yung pa ako nandito. Tapos sa gate lang ako nag-aantay. Kasi sabi daw, babalik eh. Tapos gabi na, wala. Matutulog ako, crying myself to sleep. And then I woke up, there's a new Yaya. So okay, ganun lang pala. So feeling rejected. Again, I'm not saying my parents rejected me, but I felt it. I think my sibling was going through a lot and I felt, alam mong binubuli. Kasi ako lang yung mataba.
Yeah.
Ako yung maitim, ako yung pangit. Buti na lang, no? My grandmother would get me during summer and would take care of me. And I guess with all of this drama that happened to me as a little child, what I can safely say right now, that her love, unconditional, and her values that she passed on to me is the same values I carried up until now, the way I treat people, the way I treat life. But I did not see that while I was young. And I guess it's something that I value the most. It's simply because at the end of the day, I want to be that grandmother to you, to the people I'm taking care of.
Right.
That even if you feel you're nobody, my grandma was there to make me feel I am somebody.
Right. That's beautiful, Russ. Maybe what I'd like to ask you is, can you tell me what happened from that moment na you were in your, I don't know, years of growing up, and then you eventually became successful, and the turning point?
Nice. So I graduated college, right? And when I went to my dad and asked for allowance, he told me, tapos ka na, di ba? So tapos na rin allowance ko. So at that moment, I felt so hurt. I was so angry. And I hated him to the max because I saw my other siblings was not given the same treatment. So initially, I took it personally. But Ralph, little did I know, that was the starting point of thanking my dad for not giving me what I think I felt I needed, but giving me the most important lesson in life. At 20, 21, you are on your own. And so, I decided to apply for a job. I can vividly remember printing 100 resumes door to door. Walang email noon eh.
In Davao to?
In Davao. Okay. No? Wala ni isang kumpanya tumawag sa akin for interview.
Right.
Why? Grades was reflective of boboto. Picture, pangit. Self-esteem, zero.
So, ang daming evidences na you're not the ideal.
This is the most painful part. My best friend, his name is Zach. Sabi ko, samahan mo ako sa fast food chain. Bagong bukas sa Davao. Mag-a-apply tayo. Tapos, dahil kasama siya, binigyan siya ng... Nag-fill up na siya. Ang natawag siya, hindi ako.
Okay. Wow, sakit nun.
And I was just saying, okay lang ko. But I think this is the most...
Masakit yun.
I pretend it was okay.
Yeah.
But deep inside, it was... Pati dito pa naman.
I know.
But the most painful part, Besh, ang sabi niya, kaya hindi tanggap kasi yung pantalon na bibigay na uniform, hindi talaga kakasya sa'yo.
Oo.
Until one time, somebody was looking for 1 month lang, no, janitor/promodizer for December just to clean the showroom. I applied for it. I got it. And the biggest blessing was the first boss who I worked for was not only a boss, but he was a mentor. That's why my heart right now to mentor other people is just to honor and respect and pay homage to my first mentor.
Wow.
His name is Jun Hugos, who told me, ayoko itsura mo, mataba ka, pangit ka. Kung gusto mo magtagal dito, mag-workout ka, magpapayat ka, umayos ka. Pangalawa, hindi ka marunong mag-Ingles. Kung gusto maging successful, mag-aral ka. Ito yung libro, basahin mo. At yung reporting mo sa akin will be the learning that you have. And that changed the course of my life.
Wow.
So from a promodizer, I became a salesman, all the way to the highest position I can ever imagine. 15 years working in one company, I have arrived. I felt I was the most successful in the clan, in all of my classmates. I've seen the world. Alaming the success. But at age 35, 34, hindi pa uso yung yung suicidal.
Yes.
Pero
Yung
I had that
depression.
tendency. Hindi pa uso.
Yeah.
Depression, hindi uso yan. Ngayon lang yan. No? Parang pahinging candy. Parang ganun depression. Dati hindi. It's a taboo. So nobody knew I was going to all of this and taking all of these pills. Up until one day, I was nagnanumb na ako. And I had the boss say, hey, this is not you.
Yes.
Okay, and I want you to attend this. So I went on, I did not even know, kasi hindi pa usong life coach noon 2007. So I went in my first life coaching 2 days seminar. And initially, I was so, yabang, arrogant. I don't need this shit. You're all losers. But something was asking me to stay. And little did I know that 2 days, 2007, literally changed the course of my life. And that's where I realized, because I was so focused on developing myself, going after external success, I forgot a more important factor of success is the internal success, which that's where I realized that I carried a lot of resentment. My success was not fueled by desire, but my success was fueled by huge success is the best revenge. So I was successful not coming from my desire, but it was coming from proving so that one day, kita nyo,
Ang layo na narating ko
but what benefit do I want?
from that.
Mahalin mo naman ako.
Yeah. To be seen again.
Tanggapin mo naman ako.
Yeah.
And the more I became successful, the more I feel empty, the more I feel rejected, the more I feel out of this game. And I lost me.
Right.
I lost my health. I did not feel that I love people I'm supposed to love. I did not feel their love.
Yeah.
So it's all empty. It's nothing.
Yeah. I like this story kasi clearly the being not seen when you were young, being not preferred, you brought it all the way into your adulthood. And even though you were achieving a lot of successes in life, so basically, I remember you showing me a photo of you when you were 35 years old. So by the way, Russ was hot, until now is hot, but that time you were buff, you were still wearing the mask of being really masculine, and you had some successes, in your career that time, and then you eventually had a huge shift
Yep.
from that glamorous, wealthier life
Yep.
into a life of coaching, personal development, and then you told me you had to let go of that life of wealth into a life of being who you really want to be.
Yeah.
What can you say about people? Actually, Russ, I'll be honest also, no, there are other people as well who might have seen that
Including you in the past.
including me in the
Yeah.
past. I would agree. That this could be parang kulto naman to. No, there's just so much loyalty you're following, and others really just, I don't know, rave for you because maybe they've really been touched by you.
Yep.
What can you say about this kind of perception or understanding about your work?
All right. For people who, because there are a lot of vocal people also, no,
Yeah.
na they don't like what I'm doing.
Right.
I have so much respect for
Yeah.
their being vocal around it.
Right.
I have so much, acceptance
Yeah.
that we are on a different path.
Yeah.
And I have nothing to say except just be where you are.
Mm.
I bless you. I honor you.
Mm.
And I will be where I'm at right now. So which means you cannot stop me from doing what I know I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do in my life simply because it's how I want to be bold
Mm.
to
Stepping
recreate
up.
a new consciousness.
Right.
As long as I know I'm not doing anything illegal,
Right.
immoral, or life-threatening, as long as my come from is I wanna support
Mm.
and give and love and contribute, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just an opinion that is working, maybe for them,
Yeah.
but it's also I have my own opinion that's working for me.
So let's clear that as route now. So this is not a cult, what we're building.
Can you define what a cult is?
So basically, a cult is a
There's a leader, and then a leader
with a strong loyalty,
Okay.
loyal followers.
All right.
And they have a certain parang agenda,
All right.
And that
Which is what?
is basically to be a tight-knit community with whatever belief system the leader
See,
has.
what's a negative connotation about cult? Kasi sa totoo lang, nabansagan akong kulto,
Yes.
nabansagan akong New Age,
Yes.
nabansagan akong parang satanismo.
Mm.
So, ang daming ganon, no?
Wala-
So, ako kasi, Ralph, these are just languages.
Mm.
I don't know what it is really, but what I want is just focus on the essence, what's real, what's the emotion,
Mm.
rather than the label.
Yeah.
Right? So, if we were to look at the negative connotation of what a cult is, what would that be as a definition?
So for me, yun, definition would be that they have a certain agenda,
Which is
which is basically
money. What
money,
else?
power,
Power.
sex, all of
Okay.
those things that are illegal.
Okay. So you were in my space for the longest time.
Yeah, for a long
Okay.
time
You
already,
see
a
my
year.
authentic,
Oh yes.
darkest
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
my lightest side.
Yeah.
You tell me. You judge me now.
Yeah. So, my experience with your Russ is I've been critical as well. Because it's sometimes too good to be true. Sometimes this guy with so much giving, it's too good to be true. So much sharing, that's too good to be true. And eventually, I've only seen that you operate lang in just a different level. I think you operate in a space of generosity, a space of exchange of energy.
Mm.
No, you want to provide support, and you don't ask for anything in return. Maybe more of not a return of money, but a return of more of a support. And it's just a free flowing economy. It's
Yeah.
a free flowing exchange and sharing. And sometimes, as a friend, it hurts me as well when some people might have mistaken you. And I think the people around your space would know who you truly
Yeah.
are, and they are not affected by it. But as a friend, it does affect.
At kung yan ay kulto, okay, gugustuhin mo ba yung kulto na yan or lalayuan
Yeah.
mo yung kulto na yan?
Ako, I'd stay close to
Yeah.
just experience life or experiencing life with you.
I think people who cannot take my work are very traditional thinkers, at the same time very religious,
Yeah.
na parang maybe for them, no, whatever the name of their God is, it's Buddha or nothing. It's
Yeah.
Allah or nothing. It's Christ or nothing. Versus I don't practice any particular religion.
Right.
I was born and raised Saradong Protestante. I went to Catholic school. I have a best friend who is an Islam.
Mm.
And I realized that the religion is causing us
So much
division.
divisions. Yeah.
In fact, wars are caused by it.
Yeah.
So I stay away from it. So I don't want to be preachy. But if you ask me what's my religion, it's love and compassion.
Love it. To be
No
more
one left
Christ-like.
behind. Inclusivity. It's hard, and I don't want to claim I'm a Christian because there are choices I make in my life right now.
Yeah.
That is not acceptable in the Christian world.
Yeah.
But I know with Christ I'm accepted.
Yeah.
Tinanggap niya nga si Mary Magdalene,
That's true.
right? I think Christ came here not to recruit people to be Christian. Christ came here with the message of, as human being, let's love and be compassionate with one another.
Love that.
So instead of judging people who are not Christians, judging people who don't have the same values, or
Yeah.
just love and be compassionate.
Yeah.
You don't know what people went through.
Yeah.
You don't know the trauma they went on.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just love. And I think if there's a cult I want to put up, it's a cult of love and compassion.
Love it. Love and compassion. And it's indeed true, Russ, no? You practice so much love and compassion. And for the past hour that we've been talking, I've learned a lot about you. And I'm happy that you were vulnerable enough to share the sad parts, the hard parts. And there's no question that's why you are now this strong, passionate, all giving. It's because you had a human journey that's really built you to be this person that you are. Russ, this is going to be the question in our new podcast. Thank you so much for joining us in our very first episode. We will be asking our guests this question as we end. And this is the question. If there is a billboard in EDSA right now where you can put a message for everybody who's passing by, what will that message be?
Tiwala lang.
Tiwala lang. Why?
Trust that He is in full control. Trust that He has always been taking care of you. And His love is enough. And your job here is just to connect and be one with Him and be in a message of love,
Wow.
be in a message of faith,
Yeah.
and walk in hope no matter what. Tiwala lang. I'm fully committing myself in the next 3 years, no? Leaving all the business I have.
Yeah.
Okay? In fact, even the seminar life I have, because we created a community called Ako Naman Muna, which will bring at least 1% of Filipino, that's 1.2 million Filipino, to now start honoring themselves more than honoring other commitment outside themselves. Because when we start to honor ourselves, go back to who we are, taking care of ourselves, we call it extreme self-care.
Yes.
Being able to just living that spiritual life of who you are. When 1% of enough Filipino think the same, healing themselves, the entire country will just heal themselves.
Yeah.
And we're geared towards a prosperous nation. And the picture here, ladies and gentlemen, one day, tatay mo hindi naalis ng Pilipinas. Because we're creating economy here. There's so much wealth here that one day walang magulang na iiwanan mga anak kasi mangingibang bayan nandun ang ekonomiya, nandito ang ekonomiya. And I believe it's gonna happen because we are a great race, isang dakilang lahi, that we deserve the life that we want. We just have to change the way we think and start taking care of yourselves. Ako naman muna. Self first, because when you put yourself first, you're putting Him first. And then He will bless you and hopefully the entire country.